up, everybody? How's it going tonight? How's it going? I need to get like I've got the goat. I need to get like a raccoon sound now. I figure it out eventually here, but yeah, raccoon Shaggy reporting for duty. Raccoon Pender ready. Oh Lord, what have we done? I don't know who it was. I know as of this morning, there were already 3 Raccoon Mafia shirts bought. One of which was me. Oh no! And don't worry, it's not beer. It's North Star Craft Soda, vanilla cream, raccoon and goat combined. That'd be a weird sound. Be very strange. Very strange. How's everybody going tonight? What up, Pendergast and Shaggy, Teal Mike, Fournette, Mike? What's going on, everybody? I don't know where my stuff's at. I'm looking all over the place. I'm hiding stuff. Here it is. What up, Epic Badger? One more bag and I'll have the attentive 4 hallway Lego set. Oh, nice. Cool. Raccoon riding a goat for the next shirt. There we go. Oh, yeah. Surprisingly enough, today it was nice here. And by nice, I mean 32. Because the last like 3 days, and then we had like one nice day, and then like the 3 days prior to that, it was all like negative temps. So 32, it was a blessing in disguise today. So yeah. Yes. Tired. Shaggy says, tired, glad tomorrow's Friday and the 3-day weekend. Yes, I know that. Well, I work tomorrow and I work Saturday. And then I have Sunday and Monday off, and then I'm back on Tuesday. So, yes. You'll have to forgive me, guys. I'm a little tired tonight. I did have one item show up. Forgivens, the Raccoon Mafia leader. I did have one item show up today, which I was super stoked for. I got my Xandar in the mail, so I figured I'd rip that bad boy open and see what it's all about real quick for you guys. Yeah, low 40s tomorrow, then the single digits. Yeah, the oh man, yeah, the Switch 2. I mean it's cool. I'm surprised we didn't get. I'm trying to figure out how to put this because it's not a bad thing. I'm glad that we're getting a new Switch. Above all, I hope they figured out how to fix the Joy-Con drift. Because I already don't see things going real well with the fact that they've turned the controllers essentially into a mouse, so you can lay it down and use it like a mouse on a table. I think that's not a great idea. I wish they would go back to a full-blown console. Because I just hate the concept. That again, it's another handheld. I wish they would. It would be nice if they would just give us, even if they were to just give us like, like a Raspberry Pi type thing. No screen, and you can slide the Switch cards into it. I'm glad to see that Switch 2 will play Switch 1 games, which I think is great. But yeah, I wish they would get on the ball and actually put out a what up, Mr. Jones? I wish they put out an actual console though, so that they could start, because I keep going back to the I guess I don't know if Mortal Kombat 1 was released on Switch. I would assume that it was, but I think if I remember correctly, it was the Mortal Kombat X game that was released on the Switch, and the like cutscenes and stuff basically looked like PlayStation 2 graphics, and it like wasn't even the same thing. So I you know I'd like to see them utilize some new hardware to be able to have like the next Legend of Zelda game, for Link, because I've heard that. Okay, I guess I didn't know if one was on Switch or not, but I think it was X, if I remember correctly, seeing it, because it was a couple of years back. I'd really like to see their Nintendo branded games with like better graphics, because I still feel like that they're basically behind on times. So that's just me. I think, I don't know. Nick says, I'm not against the handheld, but from a power standpoint, hard to compete with whatever Steam Microsoft PS does. Exactly. That's my whole thing is there's got to be, at some point something's got to give. No, and I do realize that was another team that did it, but again, I don't understand why make basically two different games. Why not just give what? What are you talking about? um why make basically two different games? Why not just make one game that works? Oh, hi Dave. I will have a good show. I did not see the trailer for Metroid Prime 4 though, so I'll have to check that out later. Mr. Jones, see what that's all about. But yeah. Well, yeah, and I mean, like I always kind of feel like, back in the day when Nintendo was a pioneer, and so was Sega. And then Sega decided to stop doing consoles and just focus on games, which is totally fine. But I just, I don't know. I'd like to see Nintendo even potentially take the lead eventually. Because Nintendo has such. It's like if they don't want to get with the times, then I think they should license out their characters for other companies to make games for like updated things. I don't know. I just think I'm like, how awesome would it be to have like trying to think of like a good game. I don't know, like just like a Dark Souls style Legend of Zelda, graphics wise, not gameplay wise, because I can't stand dying that many times. Um, but yeah, no, and I know that they still consider themselves a toy company, but I don't know. I think I don't think there is anything wrong with having the Switch. um, because I think people are still going to want handhelds. But why not just do the Switch 2 like the light, have it be a higher powered OLED, whatever, and do it that way, basically, so that you end up with the one thing that nobody has is that's a handheld. Well, besides Steam, obviously. But I mean, I have a Steam Deck and I don't have any idea how to make it work. So let's see what we got here. I'll shut that. Uh oh.
I can't stay long because I'm out picking up some groceries. The store forgot to put in my car earlier, so
It happens.
yeah, it's annoying. I was trying to get everything done before the freeze, so I didn't have to leave the house until after that was over. But whatever.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I know. I'm not looking forward to it at all.
But y'all's houses up there are built for this kind of stuff, though, aren't they? Because I know down here they're not. So
Well, I mean, to an extent, they are. Uh, but there are some days where when it's down like -10, um, you can't you can't stay warm.
yeah, if it gets -10 here, I no.
Yeah, well, yeah. If it was -10 down there, you like the entire state would pretty much.
Yeah, we can't drive when it rains down here. So
Well, we can't drive when it rains up here either, so
yeah,
which is
no.
an unfortunate situation in and of itself. But
Our problem here too is the like I was telling Ethan, we have a problem with ERCOT and our grid and however they have that whole thing set up with how they maintain it or whatever.
yeah,
And a couple of years ago, they started letting all the AI bros and the NFT bros come in and set up shop and just dragging down the power usage and everything on the grid and making things hard down here for that kind of stuff. So
yep. I remember when that happened. You guys got that like ice and stuff, and everything
yeah,
basically
and
shut down.
we couldn't find replacement parts because all the people were out here scalping elbows and uh, other pipe fittings and whatnot.
Yeah, hooray.
Yeah, so I'm not looking forward to possibly having to deal with that again.
Yeah. No, I don't think anybody would.
Yeah, and we're just not built for that kind of stuff. Like, we don't have like the vehicles to like handle like the icy roads and snow or anything like that down here. So
Well, I don't. I mean, there's still people up here driving. They got their Teslas, and like the cold weather is like the worst possible thing you could ever imagine for a Tesla.
Oh,
You know, if you leave it outside and it freezes, you can't open the doors because the doorknob or the door things won't pop, and
oh wow. Okay.
you can't open the charging port because there's ice in there or something, and so it's
Yeah.
not good all around. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I didn't know that was a thing. Like I hate those damn trucks. So,
not even the trucks, just the cars too.
oh really? Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, let's see
no, like
here.
all we can do down here, we usually fill up like buckets and tubs of water just in case we can't use the water. We need to like clean things or flush things, whatever. And
Yeah. I don't know when the last time Nintendo created an IP for just Nintendo.
Arms, that fighting game on the Switch with the springy arm people.
Oh, okay. Well, I suppose well, like another more recent one is would I well, when did they start doing Splatoon? Was that back on the
It was the Wii U when that came out.
okay. So I mean that's still kind of relatively new, so
There's another one. I don't think it did very well. It was called Codename Steam. I don't know what the acronym stands for, but it was
hmm.
a 3DS game, and I want to say they did that Sushi Strikers game. I'm not sure.
Yeah, deck. Shaggy deck. I have not heard, but they look super cool. I'll have to check that out. Andy's dinosaur reviews. I'm gonna look it up
Oh,
real
that's
quick
a cool
here.
channel.
Because whoa, what we got going on there? Um,
Your total is 549. System processing.
let's
Swipe or
see
insert
here.
instructions on pin pad.
Oh,
Sorry, I'm
there we
just.
go. Okay, cool. I'm gonna put that right into my watch later thing here. Whoop! How did that just happen? Where did it go? Save. Watch later. Perfect. I will watch it later.
We're
Let's
getting
see.
a live view of where I live, so nobody docs me. I don't live in Kroger, but
You literally went in for like, and you knew what you were looking for.
well, so no, so HEB, like I tend to. So for those of you that don't know, I don't really leave the house that often unless I really have to. 'Cause I'm kind of a shut-in, basically. So anytime I have to buy anything or order anything, I order everything online, no matter what it is. And if I leave the house to pick it up, I don't usually get out of the car. I'm usually just doing curbside for everything because
Yeah,
I have this thing where I don't like interacting with people in public, especially down
I,
here.
I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you.
So
But you will make that exception when a new Sonic figures start dropping.
that that is the exception. Yeah. No, like if I can't, because that's the thing that bothers me is like sometimes you can't order certain figures for a Target or whatever. I don't know what it is, like why they don't list them on the website or the app. Like you have to go in the store to get them, and that's annoying as hell because I don't like going in the store. And I have like a little bit of like PTSD even after all these years because I used to work at Target, so I just kind of hate going in there.
Oh yeah.
So, but no, like anything I order everything online just to keep from having to talk to people. And
Yo.
I went to pick up my groceries earlier, and then hours later, I just realized that I was missing half of them. So
Oh no.
I had to call them, and they were like, "Oh, it either got misslotted or it ended up in somebody else's car." And I was like, "Okay, well, can you refund me or something? I'll just go buy it myself." And he was like, hold on a minute." And then he came back like maybe 5 minutes later. He's like, "Hey, I found all your stuff." And I was like, "Okay, well, I guess I'll go pick it up." 'Cause I live like 6 minutes from the store. But no,
Yeah.
I came to Kroger because I ran out of something else. So I had to walk in here, unfortunately.
See, I'm this is where me and Dave differentiate. I'm gonna allow well, I mean you're only like you said 6 minutes away, but I'm gonna allow you to keep talking to me while you're driving.
Yeah,
Dave
yeah.
Dave would be like, okay, goodbye.
No, I'm literally. I used to do Kevin's like live streams from the car sometimes too. Like when I was working away from home, I would just hop on the way from work.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like like right now, like literally everything, like where I live. Apparently, according to the wife, because I didn't grow up out here, everything out here used to be country. And Tim can probably, like Toy Chase can probably tell you that because he used to live not far from here. But everything out here used to be nothing but trees and then farmland. And then over the years, I started developing the area, I guess. And there's too many goddamn people up here now. But literally everything is like this. So me personally, I grew up in the sticks. So like everything was like half an hour to an hour away. So living up here, I can tell where things used to be, country, because like next door to us, the main street next to us, there's a Walgreens, but right on the other side of that Walgreens is a bunch of cows because I guess the guys that owned that land, they sold part of it to Walgreens, but they kept the rest of their barns and stuff over there. But like literally everything around here is within maybe 5 to 10 minutes away from the house. So like, all the grocery stores, all the fast food, all the Game Stops and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Comic shop is like right down the street. So,
Yeah, that's my only problem. I have to drive a half an hour to work. But everything else is like right here. I literally like 1 minute from my house is the corner gas station, and they've got a Taco Bell built into it.
Yeah.
And then we've got, within 8 minutes of my house, there's, Arby's, Wendy's, McDonald's, Burger King.
Yep, that's
Chipotle, just like everything, plus a Target, a Walmart, a GameStop.
Yep, that's
and an actual mall. It doesn't have much in it, but we have a mall.
Yeah, there's a mall like there's a mall, Willowbrook Mall. It's like maybe like 7-8 minutes down the street from me. So I haven't been there because I don't like being around a lot of people, like a lot of crowds. But
yeah,
when my daughters were younger, they wanted to know what a mall was. This is back when we had a Toys R Us over there as well, and they got to at least experience it for a little bit. But yeah, I haven't been since they were like really little. Because there wasn't much in there, so
yeah, I don't blame you, man. I always tell everybody, I'm like, if I had it my way, I would never leave my house, like ever.
Yeah, so whenever all this like Amazon and eBay and all this stuff kind of started popping up, that was like a godsend for me.
Yeah,
like I said, I grew up in the sticks. So I was outside a lot, but when I got older, for some reason, I just shifted to like an inside person. I was like,
yeah.
I don't want to be outside.
Oh yeah. when I was from like 16 to 25,
yeah,
like I was never home and I was always out doing stuff. Thank God there weren't cell phones.
Yeah.
Because I'd have a rap sheet a mile long, I'm sure. Nothing really bad. Just, some light what's the right word? Some light vandalism and and destruction of property type of things. We drive our trucks into people's yards and stuff, and or we would go and fill up. We'd go find like a construction zone and steal all the cones and then go put them in a friend's yard, or
Jesus. Can't do that stuff anymore.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Take you out,
right? So,
yeah, seems like we had like a lot more freedom when we were younger than kids do now. Like we could pretty much go anywhere just by ourselves.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we would leave the house and never come home until the street lights were coming on, basically.
Well, you had street lights. We didn't have that out in the country.
Well, and the crazy thing is obviously some people who might not know, um, like the whole like where are your kids thing type of thing
Yeah,
basically
yeah.
started in Minnesota because of Jacob Wetterling.
Oh yeah.
And I mean that was super scary. And then there was another, because I lived in, when I was younger, we used to live in Woodbury, and that was when it was the sticks. There was nothing over there, and now it's like any other place. Um, but we moved, and we moved to Inver Grove, and there was some crazy dude that did something, killed a little girl or something. It was crazy. Um, so yeah, like at some point in time, there was definitely a tonal shift on like letting your kids do whatever they wanted whenever they wanted type of thing.
Yeah, I only got to experience that kind of stuff whenever like visit cousins like in the city, like in Houston or Sugar Land or whatever, because they lived in like subdivisions that had like street lights and the parks and stuff like that. And we would ride our bikes to the convenience store, to the grocery store, or to the park.
Uh-oh, we lost you. He must be. Oh, there we go. I was gonna say, must be getting ready to connect to the Wi-Fi.
Oh, there's the cat. We don't have cats. Our neighbors have cats, but they live here. He's coming to greet me, and they have
uh,
this. They
Spike,
eat on it.
no. Well, no, definitely no arson. Break. There was no breaking, but there was definitely entering places that we used to do a lot of, like the urban exploration type of stuff, because we have. Well,
I'm still here.
oh, there you go. You're
Uh,
on voice.
yeah.
um, we have a lot of caves here in St. Paul, because it's all sandstone, and so they were carved out, and they used to store ammunition and stuff in them. But
Oh,
there's one particular set of caves in it's I think it's technically it's Wabasha or whatever, but they are referred to as the Dillinger caves. So John Dillinger, the gangster, um used to have a hideout in those caves and stuff, and I've been up in all those caves and stuff. And at one point in time, probably, I don't know, within like 3 or 4 years of like not going to the caves anymore, a bunch of stupid kids decided that they were going to light a fire, like a campfire, inside the cave, and they all ended up dying from lack of oxygen, smoke inhalation and stuff. And so they really, 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 really blocked the caves, because they were blocked, but they weren't. um, no, dude retro did not hide any bodies in those caves. Um, but
yeah, we didn't have caves. We just had, like the woods. So
yeah, we would go and do all sorts of. There's a lot of like old industrial areas and stuff, and we'd go hide in or get into them and stuff and just explore. But yeah, so like no no arson, but at one point somebody, I don't remember who it was, but somebody stole a shopping cart from like the grocery store. And we used to have, a long, long, long time ago, there was a toll bridge, and it was privately owned by a family that lived in the area, and eventually they sold it to the state or city or whatever. But it was a swing bridge, so it had three sections. It had two sections that were permanent, and then they had a section in the middle that would spin like this, so that the boats could go by. And when they finally sold it, that part in the middle, they left it open, so it was just basically straight drop offs on both sides of the river.
right.
And we put our friend in a shopping cart and pushed him off the bridge into the river. Um, all sorts of crazy things like that.
I don't know if I'd be your friend anymore if you did that to me.
He asked us to do it.
Oh,
So yeah.
huh. Yeah, no, we didn't have anything crazy like that. Like out where I grew up, it was nothing but mostly ranches, and a lot of my cousins and uncles, they had farmland and livestock, so there was nothing exciting out there like that.
Yeah, we used to we'd go, I mean, there's the farmland everywhere. And there's yeah, what we're gonna tell stories tonight. That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
So there's this place, which, and it's funny, I wish I could remember the name of the show. Um let's see if I can find it. But
A sitcom or something, or
what's that?
was it like a sitcom or something? Or
No. So it was a show, and I can't remember what channel it was on, but it was like an anthology. The show's called 50 States of Fright, and there is an episode called Gray Cloud Island. Now, none of that stuff that happens in that episode is anything that I am I've never witnessed any of that stuff, but there was there let's see, I type it in and a whole bunch of crazy stuff pops up, and it says, like, the first one is obviously a bunch of videos and then IMDb for that episode, but then there's this from 106.9 K Rock, and I don't know if that's a local station or not. I've never heard of it. I don't really listen to the radio. Oh, it's Rochester, Minnesota. So okay. It says here there's a pretty small town in Minnesota that in the Twin Cities the population is only 301 people. Mind you, this was from 3 years ago now, but based on the stories I've heard and read, this may be the most haunted place in the whole state. The town is called Gray Cloud Island. It's not exactly an island, but whatever. Before we get into those stories, do not trespass on private property. Gray Cloud Island was home to many Native American settlements in the past. It's now home to Gray Cloud Cemetery and a large concentration of Native American burial mounds. There's a long list of ghostly happenings that people have claimed to see according to haunted rooms. In the cemetery, people have seen a former Indian chief roaming around, Native American chief, roaming around with a green lantern. Some say they see the chief, and others say they just see the floating green orb. Some say when there's a full moon, they can hear drums beating. Now this one, I can confirm because this has happened to me. A white truck appears out of nowhere and chases visitors off the island, then vanishes into thin air. Some say the truck has no driver. Others say this isn't a ghost and actually a local who's chasing ghost hunters out, which is highly probable because, again, that has happened. We have been chased out of there many times. Now this one, this is also true. There's a group, and I didn't know about the other part, but it says there's a group of 12 tombstones at the cemetery that all belong to nuns. I didn't know about the nun part, but and it says if you walk down the line, you can count all 12, but when you turn back around, there won't be 12 anymore. And that's true. It's super weird. Then there's like people have heard voices coming from nowhere, which I've absolutely heard. Some have heard women screaming, which I've also heard. Now this one I don't know anything about. Says there's apparently a translucent man that people have seen carrying a rifle and smoking and wearing a red flannel and orange hat. One woman says she saw him just staring at her, saying nothing, and when she got into her car to leave, she saw him sitting in her back seat.
Man, see,
You're breaking up there. I barely heard you.
I said, now I gotta walk out to my car to grab something, and I don't want to now because I'm scared of some translucent man with the red flannel shirt and orange hat and
Man,
gun.
this is like
Look,
1,000 miles away.
when
You
you
ain't gotta worry about it.
when you finish the story, I have a story if anybody wants to hear it about an urban legend that is from where I grew up, and there's only one video about it on the internet from our local library. So trust me, I'll tell the story when we're finished.
Another one says one group that went to the island claimed to have heard a child whisper, "Don't come back," as they were leaving, which I didn't experience, but somebody I know experienced something like that. Another one says some say they've seen a woman mourning the loss of her baby.
Is that La Llorona?
What's that?
La Llorona?
Yeah, might as well be.
Yeah. I know. That freaks me out.
Now this one I have experienced. It says there was a person who drove to the cemetery, and when they tried to start up their car again to leave, it had lost all power. The car was pushed to the other side of the cemetery gate and started up just fine. So it's definitely had that experience happen.
So is that like the? Cause I've experienced it before twice. Because there's like a couple of urban legends about like these kids who died at a railroad crossing, whatever, and if you park your car, they'll push you across the tracks on your car. And people,
I've heard of similar ones like that.
so
Yeah,
we in San Marcos, because there's a famous spot in San Marcos that has something like that. We went there for a car meet because my cousin was in a Scion car club, and we all went out there to this. And I don't know if because I'm very believing in like supernatural stuff, whatever. So I don't know if that's really what happened or if there was somebody just like hiding and putting powder on the back of the car and pushing it. I don't know.
yeah.
There were definitely small handprints on the back of the car after the car moved, and then like there were. But the thing is, somebody actually had their phone. They were recording the car. There was nobody behind it moving it.
That's crazy.
They were walking like all around the car recording, and nobody was pulling or nobody was touching.
That's crazy.
The explanation that I've heard is that a weird like slight incline or whatever. It's like if you put your car in neutral, it'll whatever, which makes zero sense to me. But whatever. But because the handprints didn't make any sense. But whatever. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, so like now this isn't supernatural by any means, but one night we had like a convoy. There was like 3 cars. My buddy had a beat up old Chevy pickup truck. I was driving at the time. I had a Saturn SC2. It was blue.
Uh-huh.
All of this information I'm giving you right now is extremely important to the story. So
okay,
remember, beat up Chevy pickup truck, blue Saturn SC2, and then it was me and one dude in my car, and 2 of my other buddies in the truck, and one girl in there, and then there was a green Jeep Cherokee, like an older one, the square body type one.
Mm-hmm.
That had like 5 girls in there, and we were all going because we told the girls, we were like, yeah, we're gonna take you to Gray Cloud Island, we're gonna show you all this spooky shit. And so we're driving, and so the way it works is Gray Cloud's like way off kind of in the back, and it's surrounded because it's a township. And then there's St. Paul Park and Newport, and all 3 of those, the township and those 2 cities, they all share the same police department. So you don't really ever see cops in Gray Cloud Island unless there's a reason for them to be there. And so we're driving, and as we're coming up around this corner, we're driving, and then all of a sudden a cop passes us, which was weird because again, we'd been down there dozens and dozens and dozens of times and never seen a police officer. And And mind you, now this is like probably at like 10:30 at night in the middle of the summer.
Right.
And so we're driving it. My buddy sitting next to me says to me, he goes, "Wouldn't it be funny if we came around the corner and there was a like a police barricade?" And no joke, we went around the corner and there were 4 squad cars parked across the road, and they all hit their lights and their spotlights all at the same time. They all jump out of their cars. They're all pointing their guns at us. And
Uh,
I roll my window down, and they're like, they all start screaming, like, "Get your fucking arms out the windows." And then my buddy's like, "What are they saying?" And I'm like leaning out the car like this. And I'm like, "Put your goddamn hands out the windows." And everybody starts getting, the cops start, approaching us. They go to my buddy in the front, and they were in the pickup truck. They pull both of them out of the car and the girl and have all 3 of them laying face down on the asphalt that I'm can almost guarantee probably still like 100 degrees. Um, and they got the guns pointed at him and all this stuff, and it was just bananas. And the cops like now screaming at me, and he's like, I need to see the your ID." I'm like, it's in my back pocket. I'm just, so I'm like, I pull my ID out and I give it to him. And literally, as soon as I give him my ID, I heard the cop say, "It's not them." And so at this point, I'm still leaning out my window, still got my hands out the windows, and all this, it was pandemonium. Um, so the cop finally comes back over, and I go, I'm like, "Can I ask what's going on?" No joke. The cop says to me, there was a stabbing in Cottage, there was a stabbing in Cottage Grove, and there a bunch of people left. And all 3 of the vehicles that left the scene, your 3 vehicles match it perfectly. And so I was like, "What?" They're like, What were you guys doing?" We were like, "We were just coming down to the Gray Cloud Island, the spooky stuff." And they're like, "Oh, of course." And so they finally let my buddies and stuff that were laying on the ground get up, and they get back in the truck, and they're like, "Hey, we're really sorry, like blah 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 blah." And they were like, "You should probably go home." And we're like, "Yes, sir." So we immediately all got in the car. And at this point in time, because the way Gray Cloud Island is set up is it's almost like a U. So like you come in one way and go around, and then you come back out, and you're basically going back out the same way. It's very strange. But so like they had cops stationed over on the other side now, apparently. So it's the 3 of us leaving with probably I don't know, like 6 squad cars behind us, like escorting us out basically. And we go, and because the way it is you drive down this long, it's almost like a frontage road kind of to the highway. And then you get off and you go right onto the highway. So we're like flying back home. We go across the other highway, and we're gonna get off on the back road because we were gonna go to the bowling alley. Well, we're in the back road, and of course, another squad car passes us. This time, it's a South St. Paul squad, and I'm sure there was a thing across all the joining cities and stuff.
right.
And so we're like the back way, and we're about to cross the main street, which is called Concord, to go into the bowling alley. And so like this cops coming down Concord, and we're coming across this way, and we just have to go right across to go into the thing. The cop turns past us, drives down a little ways, And at this point, I see the brake lights come on, and I just went straight across, and I'm flying into the parking lot. And me and my buddy just get out, bail. I didn't lock my doors or nothing. We just run into the bowling alley, and everybody else came right behind us and did the same thing. And everybody went and kind of just dispersed into the bowling alley. And I'm like sitting there, like looking out the door, like, and I watched the cop pull up behind our cars and obviously ran all of our plates. And they probably came back like, oh, these guys just got pulled over. They're not them. But whew, holy moly.
Yeah.
3M. The plot twist being that the girls were the spooky shit. Probably.
We have like where I grew up, there's like a bunch of different versions of it. But and a bunch of different names for the creature or whatever. But it's my dad, where he grew up, they called it the moon-eyed woman. Where I grew up, where my mom and her sisters and my grandma and all them grew up, it was called the cat woman, which is why when Darkstalkers came out, Felicia was one of my favorite characters because of this local urban legend that we had. And I thought, I don't know if there was other like cat people in other cultures or whatever. I have no idea. I just know that I connected the two as a kid. So there was this story, and like I said, it depends on who you talk to. There's a story about some lady in the 1920s or 30s, somewhere way back when, was pregnant, and when she gave birth at the hospital, it was like a stillbirth, and the family didn't have any money, so they couldn't afford a funeral or a burial or anything like that. So what happened was they took the I guess corpse at that point out to the woods, and there's a street named after a family. The last name is Goebbels. It's a weird name, but that's their last name. But there's a street out there, and it's the dirt road that's across from the dirt road that went to my mom, where she grew up. And they said they dropped the body off in the woods, and they thought it was unalive or whatever, and so they left. But apparently it wasn't dead, and it was raised by a family of bobcats in the woods. So she grew up very cat-like and feral. She was very I guess unclean, just dirty, scraggly, covered in hair and stars, all kinds of crap. And she couldn't talk, but because she had been living with those cats for so long, she pretty much adapted to their ways. And so every Halloween, apparently there's this old cabin out there, and we've gone to it because it's another family moved out there, all that land, and they just kept a lot of the same that were there. But there's this old cabin, and they say like every Halloween she will light a candle and sit on the table, and it's the Lord to thinking that there's like an old lady who needs help or whatever. It's like a green candle or a green light. But when you get there, she starts to like I guess or hunt you like from the shadows or from the trees, whatever, and you'll hop in your car and you'll speed off, and she's really fast. Like you can't outrun her basically. So like she'll jump on the cab of your car and she'll claw open all the metal and fiberglass and start clawing at you to get you. And my aunt and my mom, they would always tell us the story as kids because we were country kids. We were outside all the time at night, in the mornings, all times of the day playing. And my grandmother's house is like far back in the woods. You get to drive a pretty good way to get to it, so it was hidden away from everything. Like whenever they would tell us that, we were always scared to go outside and play at night because we didn't want the Catwoman to get us. But there's multiple versions of the story. Like different people tell it different ways. And the thing that I've found on it online was our local library. Well, I don't live out there anymore, but the library out there, someone at the library at the time made a video documenting all of it or whatever. It's not a very long video, but the fact that somebody else took the time to, I guess, talk about it some years ago. But I've always, if I weren't so lazy, like I've always wanted to like draw like a comic book and like just kind of write a story, uh, creating some characters that just kind of have some of that lore from that myth tied into it. Because like ultimately, it's like a pipe dream, but ultimately, it would be like the one thing to get the town that I grew up in, which is extremely tiny. Like I used to call it Smallville. It was so tiny. Um, I would want to, I guess, put the town like on the map, kind of, because the only thing it's really on the map for is there was some Goldie Hawn movie that came out years ago. She was out there filming part of it. But that's the only time that you ever see that town mentioned anywhere online. But I wanted to turn that into like a comic book or something that would, I guess, one day be adapted to like a movie, some kind of movie or TV special, or whatever, just to let people know like there is a small town out there with this crazy urban legend about a
Yeah.
weird cat lady person. But I'm lazy, and like you see how
It'd
long
be
it's taken me to finish drawing that Sonic crossover thing. Like
it'd be
no,
cool to
like
do like an anthology style um book where you could do it could be kind of like the scary stories to tell in the dark.
oh
You know how
those
that those
oh,
books
oh,
you
yeah, oh, those books used to
right?
scare me.
But like you could do, I mean, obviously they made a movie off of it and kind of
Yeah,
incorporated a bunch of the stories into the one movie, but you could do it where like there'd be like mini arcs, or it'd basically be a mini series within a series. So
right.
you could do like four issues could be like one story, and then three issues is the next story, and then maybe another one, maybe there's a really long one that's like 8 issues or something, and it'd be kind of cool to like to
Yeah,
craft kind of
I couldn't nail down.
what's that?
Yeah, like I couldn't nail down the look because I had a like because of it took place. Like I kept seeing it drawn like an old Archie comic, whatever. But I mean, it didn't work because it's also just like a scary thing, and I don't think that would actually look, creepy enough. It would probably be one of those things where I like wrote it, and I would find somebody that I know that can draw creepy stuff, just draw it for me. But
Well,
yeah,
I
I
mean,
don't
maybe
know.
the cool
That
thing you
like
could
I ever since
maybe you could like team up with someone, and then you could draw like all of the stuff that happens like in town, or something, or like where it's
right,
not scary. And then when it starts to get scary, it could all of a sudden you could draw like half the picture and then have it start to
hand
morph
it off to
into
somebody else
somebody
to do
else's
that
art.
that part of it. Yeah, yeah,
That'd be
yeah,
kind of cool.
maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's a long running like dream thing that I'll come back to it every so often. I should really get off my ass and do something with that. But I just
Well,
I
just start piecing it together, just
but
like
that's
one day,
that
if you think about it and you're like, okay, and then just draw like, draw the Catwoman. And then, like 4 months
a
later, you
panel a
draw
day.
another character or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Like so, it's that's like the only thing that I know of from where I grew up. That's like interesting about where I grew up. So
Yeah, I don't know if there's, I mean, besides the Gray Cloud Island, I mean, there's obviously the Hill House, um, which is the James J. Hill. Um, and then I don't know, I can't remember if any of the like TV shows or movies are based off of that, but um, it's like one of the oldest houses in Minnesota. And I'll tell you what, like I'm very skeptical. Like, I've definitely experienced things, but whether or not it's a ghost or something else, I couldn't tell you. But um, just even standing in front of that house, there's a definitive uh energy. Like you can literally, as you approach the house, it's almost like static electricity. Like, like you just feel like all the it's crazy. It's real crazy. But and that one's just supposedly
Yeah,
haunted.
there
And
was when we first moved out there. Yeah, when we first moved out to this, we grew up like the first 5 years of my life. I lived in like a kind of like the I guess city, but we moved back out to where mom grew up, and the first house we moved into was right between the town church and the cemetery. Like looking out my window, like my bedroom window, I could see like tombstones just on the other side of the fence. And there was an old metal shack on this like dirt road next to the property that the house was on. And I think my dad said that way back in the day, it was like a slave house, or I guess like a house that they set up for like the slaves to live in or whatever. And when we moved out there, we were kind of just walking around the area, and we walked down that road and into that little shack area, and there was just like no stuff from probably like the late 1800s, early 1900s, just kind of scattered around the floor and like on the broken tables and countertops and stuff. And it was like plates, silverware, cups, and everything. And my dumb ass at the time, I was curious. I was like, I'm just gonna go wander around this shack house. It's like an aluminum house thing, whatever. I was gonna go wander around the house and the yard by myself, thinking, if anything happens, I can just run home because I live right next to the thing, whatever. And my mom and dad and sister were in, I guess, what would be considered the kitchen of the place. And I walked into, I'm guessing it was a bedroom, and something like it wasn't like I don't know what it was, but there was like a human-sized shadow thing that walked like next to me. And like it didn't have any like facial features or anything like that. It was just like a shadow of a silhouette. And I know it wasn't my mom and dad because they were on the other side of the house with my sister. So and it wasn't like a bird or a squirrel or anything. There was nothing there. So it was like kind of stood there. I was probably like I don't know 9, 10 years old, and I was just kind of like standing there like frozen, like what the heck was that? And like I just heard my dad. He was like, "Hey, boy, where you at?" And I was like, "I'm uh, I'm in the room, and like, come get me."
save me.
Yeah, because I don't know what he was like. What happened? I was like, I saw something. Just come get me.
Yeah, the only other really super crazy thing that has ever happened is when I was still living at my parents' house. I was me and my brother were out back smoking a cigarette, and um so the way our house was is we had like a back door with like a little concrete patio, and then we had a fence that went all the way along our backyard, and it was a small little hill that kind of went down into the neighbor's yard. So kind of had like our house sat on a small hill compared to everybody else. So like the tip of
Mhm.
our house, when you were in the room that was my room and you looked out, you were looking over the top of the houses because that's how much of a
Right.
difference. But then so on the back side, which would have been like the right side after our backyard where the fence corners off is like a small little woods, and then it runs down this way, and then there's a small, probably like 30-40 foot gap, and then there was like just a little mound that was kind of like bushes and trees and stuff, and like a mini forest. um but anyways, so we're out there, we're talking, and we could hear something which wasn't out of the ordinary. We'd usually hear a dog or a cat or a raccoon or a fox or whatever running through the woods and stuff, but we could hear it was getting closer. And the neighbor's backyard, they had a motion sensor light that kicked on. And so we're standing there, and now we're both like quiet, watching, listening. And now we can see something through the slats of the fence coming down, and it's low. So we're like, oh, it's got to be a dog or something, because we could tell it was bigger, but it wasn't like we
Right.
couldn't really tell, but we knew it wasn't a raccoon because it wasn't small. But like we were like, so we're sitting there, and we're like, the hell is that? And then like I don't know, I can't remember if like I think my brother went or like coughed or something like that, and it stopped, and we were like, now we're like like freaking out, and then it popped up on the fence and was looking at us directly. Now, mind you, it's backlit, so it's just literally the silhouette. We can't tell what it is. We can see it's the head, and we can see the ears. So we're like, is it a dog? What is that? And of course, this was, like we had flip phones, so we didn't have flashlights, readily available. And we're like, what is that thing? And it just stood there, and it stared at us and stared at us and stared at us. And you could see it was kind of like, it would like do that. And it would kind of like it was just kind of going back and forth, like trying to get like better, like vantage of like what it was looking at.
Right.
And then no joke, it turned around, ran down the hill and across their yard on its hind legs. Yeah. And then we both, when it turned around, because again, it's such a little hill, we immediately lost sight of it. So it didn't occur to us. We assumed that it kind of went like down.
Right.
And then we're like watching it, and basically it was like a 4-foot tall version of Weasel from Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Like that's the best way that I could like describe it, because the fence was 3 feet tall and his head was clearly above the fence.
Right.
And it wasn't like, it wasn't going this way, like it wasn't like getting bigger. It was staying right there, and it was like, and then and like I said, it disappeared. So we assumed that it had gone down on all fours, but then we seen it like, have you ever seen that dog that doesn't have the front legs and walks on its hind legs?
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of looked like that. And it was just like, we were like, whoa, okay. Inside. Super creepy.
Yeah.
And I want no part of that.
Yeah.
I always worry because like this one you can't. So we've got like, there's window right here, like one of those little like whip out windows, and there's one over here too. This one you can't see in or out of because it's like textured glass.
Yeah.
But that one is just straight glass. And I'm always just like sitting here thinking I'm gonna like look up someday and there's gonna be something staring at me in there, and I'm gonna shit my heart out live on camera.
You gotta be home gripping opening sign, and something's just gonna come through the window.
You just hear me go. Tony's dead. I was gonna show this off earlier, but I started talking. But yeah, there you go.
So what did I miss? Because I came in late. Dave sent me the link to my buddy got that today. I forgot where I ordered him from, but I know I have him on pre-order. If I got it from Big Bad or if I got it from Amazon.
I was very confused at first because I was looking at it and I'm like, why does he's got 2 holsters, but he doesn't have 2 guns, but he's got like the holster on the side is for his like weird knife thing. I was like, okay, guess that's what we're doing with that. But hey, I got mine from Amazon. It showed up today.
Because I know I have it on order. I just don't know if it's from Big Bad or from Amazon. Because Well, I just missed him on one of those. Order from the other place. I don't remember where it was though.
But yeah, no, I like all the Dreadnoks designs. They're
Yeah,
all pretty awesome.
I think that's the only one I'm missing because I've pretty much grabbed all of them so far. So
Yeah, I still need to get Lemmy, which is
yeah,
is that Torch?
yeah.
Yep, I need Torch, and I need Nagahide.
Nagahide, so was it Road Pig, whatever?
I got Road Pig.
Yeah, Road Pig that's an awesome
Yeah.
pig.
And I know he's not a Dreadnok, but
Yeah.
I've always thought
Yeah,
that he should be.
that's where I keep mine.
I would definitely pose Raptor with the Dreadnoks.
Yeah.
He just seems like the kind of guy that would hang out with them. But hopefully we'll get Monkey Wrench and Zanzibar and what's the other dude's name that drives the Thunder Machine or whatever it is.
Oh, damn it. Yeah. All I got so far was Wildcat. And I got that Sonic 3-pack the other day, which know that story. I didn't open it because I haven't opened that. I haven't opened Shazam yet. I got Commander Steel for $6 because Target clearance out. But I haven't opened him either. So
yeah, maybe one of these days I'll get a question.
So we have, I'm not going to say his name but I don't know if anyone knows him. But in one of our local Facebook toy groups,
we talked about this.
Yeah, he posted a picture of his Target shopping cart where he had like 7 of them of the question in his cart, and people were asking like, "Hey, can I get one of those?" He's like, "Oh no, these are for my friends." I was like, "You've got okay." And then he would go to like the next Target, and he was like, "Oh, this just keeps happening. I found 5 more." And I was like, "Whatever, dude."
First and foremost, I want to know which store he was at that had that many of them.
I don't know because he did the same thing when that last Black Widow figure came out that everybody's in love with. He had like 8 of those because I guess he had the whole case or whatever. He had eight of those in the shopping cart. And he was like bragging all over the group. Hey, look, I got 8 of them. I was like, okay, well, are you gonna sell one? No, these are all spoken for. And I was like, no, they're not because we'll see you at the toy show scalping them. So no, you know. The same thing with the there was another one that came out recently. Was it the Phoenix? He had like 4 or 5 of those in one picture, and he went to like another store, found a few more. Just I hate the guy. So,
yeah.
And then that's another reason why some of my local friends who hunt for toys, we don't even bother anymore because we know he's out there, looking for all this stuff. So,
Hankin, please don't give me a negative reason to come to Australia, okay? Because if Dave does that, I'm coming for you.
No, I don't like to. I don't hunt anymore because there's him and there's another guy. There's the other guy we haven't seen in a couple of years, but he doesn't just scalp toys. He also scalps cars and car parts. So, and I think he does sneakers too. Saw him at one of the local toy shows a few years ago, and I didn't know I saw him in one of our friends used to have his own toy store that he operated out of his garage. He was also a local cop, but he was a big Transformers guy, and he would sell like Masterpiece and third-party figures. And he had a table one year at the show, and this well-known scalper was there, and he was like, "Hey, you want to go talk to?" And I was like, "Is he here?" And he's like, "Yeah, he's right over there." And I looked over, and I was like, "No, I don't feel like getting arrested today. I'm not gonna go over there. So, gonna avoid him." But he at the time he was selling. It was when the NECA Bebop and Rocksteady figures were out, and you couldn't find them anywhere down here. And he had them on his table. He had like 12 of them just stacked up on the table, and he was just kind of like doing a little not like an auction thing, but when you call like, hey, I got these items over here for this price, whatever. He was just announcing that he had them, and somebody had asked, and they were like, hey, how much is that? He was like, oh, they're 115, and he was like, no, dude, not 115, no.
I mean, like, okay, fine. If this is what you want to do, that's fine. So let's just say that 2-pack was $60, right?
Right.
If you sell it for 85, like that's fine.
Yeah.
It's 25 bucks is definitely worth your time and effort that you went out of your way. Nobody asked you to do. But there's no reason you should be trying to double up on that, especially to your local community. I just think that's just super shitty.
Yep.
But
Yep.
what are you gonna do?
That's another reason why I like buying everything online, so I don't have to possibly run into these people in public. So
Well, I didn't realize that it was going to be such an issue to get the question.
Yeah.
Because I can't remember where it went up for pre-order, but almost refuse to pre-order anything from Target or Walmart, because with Target, you pre-order it and they literally charge you every week for it until it finally ships. They charge you, and then 4 days later they put the money back on, and they charge you the next day, and then I'm like, no, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to charge me for it, charge me for it. But personally, I don't think you should be charged for pre-orders until they come in.
Yeah.
But and then inevitably Walmart, every time I've ever ordered something from them, it'll be in stock for like 4 or 5 days, and my order won't. I'm like, what are you guys going to ship me? It's been in stock for 4 days. I'll literally cancel my order and then reorder it, and it ships that day. And I'm like, what? You guys need to learn how to take care of your pre-orders first before you put things up, So that's usually why I don't. And I just kind of assumed that I was going to be able to get my hands on, because I thought it was an exclusive to Target or Walmart or whatever. And knowing how Target is, usually you can get all their exclusives fairly easily, except for Warbird, apparently.
I got lucky with that one because I had pre-ordered her the moment that she dropped on the app, and because I had like a bunch of Target rewards I hadn't spent, I got her for like 12 or 13 bucks, whatever. So I was like, oh well, I'm not gonna cancel that order. So like I got her luckily. I try not to order from Walmart because last year, whenever those retro card at GI Joe Crimson. What are they? The Crimson Guard, whichever ones were like a Walmart exclusive at the time. Some retro card one. I ordered 2, and I made sure that these are the 2 that I have on my on the order list or whatever. And I kept checking to make sure that it was still there. It hasn't been canceled or anything. I finally got a shipping notification that they were shipping. I was like, all right, cool, it's on the way. It'll be here today. I opened the package, and it's 2 gung hos. And I'm like, I didn't order gung ho because I already have gung ho. Why are there 2 gung hos? So I went back and logged into my order, and it had to happen on their end, on the back end of their site, but they had changed the item to gung ho, and not the Crimson Guard or whatever. And I remember I made a tweet about it. I was like, hey, sometimes if you tweet, even if you don't tag them, if you just say their name, they'll pop in or whatever. And I was like, hey, I ordered these from Walmart, but something happened and they sent me the wrong thing. Like it changed in their system. And then Walmart reached out and they just had to look into it. They couldn't figure out what happened. They just refunded me. And I was like, if I can avoid getting anything from Walmart, I will. But every so often they'll have something that, like I said, it's the only place to get it. And I don't have a choice.
Yeah.
But I try not to if I can help it. I'd rather not shop at Walmart if I can help it.
Yeah, all these stores and their exclusives are starting to get old.
Yeah.
But
Like, I get why they do it. It's just I don't agree with it, but whatever.
yeah, it's stupid. Oh well, just you just okay, fine, whatever. I'll come shop in your store every now and then, I suppose.
Yeah. Did you already talk about? I know I sent you that picture earlier about the new Power Rangers comic.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool. I might
Yeah.
have to pick those. I'm to the point where for like 3 years I was buying single issues, and
Mhm.
it got way out of control. So I went basically cold turkey,
Yeah.
and I'm back to just doing trades again. So I'll have to wait for that to hit trade.
Yeah, that's what a buddy of mine did some years ago because the singles were like a money pit. So he just stopped dealing with them. I do singles, but it's only because there's only 2 books that I buy. That's Sonic and Ninja Turtles. I don't buy anything else. But for reasons, I bought the Power Rangers Prime book because when I found out that the VR Troopers were in there, I was like, oh, well, I guess I'll read that one.
That's a
You
no-brainer.
know? So that's the only other book that I buy. I mean, the only issues in. I know it's like a or whatever. So I don't know how far they're going to go with it, but I couldn't follow the other Rangers comics. It seemed like there were so many different books going on in that, and I didn't know what to read or whatever, or where to start. So like I think I bought some trades some years ago for it, and then I think I kind of scanned through them and didn't really read them. The only exposure that I actually have to the Power Rangers comics are the 2 prime ones that I got today, and then the crossovers with the Turtles. Outside of that, and the Godzilla, but outside of that, I don't really know what's going on in the world of Power Rangers comics.
So
So,
did they do? Are they? Is it just Power Rangers Prime now, or are they still doing
I
like?
don't know. I don't know. Well, so um, I don't know how much I can say because there's some things I know that I shouldn't talk. I can't talk about. But there's this. I know for a fact this is an ongoing series that just started like 2 months ago, whatever. Um, I know for a fact that there are 9 confirmed issues so far. The only 2 are out right now. Um, there's another book coming. Um, I don't know when, but there's another book coming. I don't know if it's going to be.
But they're not doing Power Rangers, and they're not doing Mighty Morphin Power
I
Rangers
don't
anymore.
know because like so I haven't been inside the shop in a while. Just for today was like the first time in a few weeks. Whatever. It's the only Power Rangers book that I saw on
Okay,
the shelf.
because
Like
I
I don't know
wasn't
if the
sure.
other ones are still going or not. But
Yeah, I
other
wasn't
than that
sure if
Usagi crossover that came out,
they wrapped up like the stuff with Draken and whatever. So
with that shattered grid or whatever.
yeah,
I don't know. I think because I think I have trades for that.
I've got a call. I think I've got like 4 trades,
Hmm.
and they are definitely not in consecutive order. It's like
Yeah,
one from here, one from there.
I've got a couple of those. I've got I think it was the Psychopath, whatever, because I love the Psycho Rangers. And that was like the first trade that I bought. Um, I think I have some because that I got confused because it was like Mighty Morphin and then Go Go, and I was
Mhm.
like, which is which? And so
Yeah, there was like 3 or 4 or 5 books going on at one time, and
yeah,
I'm like, I can't. I just want one story.
yeah. Like I said, I think this is their what they're focusing on now. Like there's like their main.
So is there only
There's only 2 issues so far.
wait? There's only 5. Oh, okay. I was very
Oh,
I for whatever reason my brain wasn't I was looking at the Black Ranger thinking that was the Blue Ranger, and I was looking at the
Oh,
Blue Ranger thinking that was the Green Ranger, and I was like, wait, what?
yeah, no. So from I don't want to spoil anything, but from what I can tell you, it's a reboot of the whole Power Rangers.
Is it now? Is it the same characters though? Like,
So I can tell you right now, this girl is Lauren Shiba from Power Rangers Samurai,
okay,
the Red Ranger, or I guess temporary Red Ranger when her brother was gone or whatever. She is being hunted down by what are Zordon's people called? The Eltarians or something like that? Or
yeah,
yeah, whatever. Yeah, it's understand the world yet because I'm still kind of new to it, but something like humans or Earthlings have like relocated to that planet or something. I don't know.
okay.
It's really weird. I don't want to spoil it. I mean, I can show you some panels that have been going around online for a couple of months now, so it's not really a spoiler. But the VR Troopers are
Yep.
in the book, and that's
Which
one of the main reasons that I
super
started reading
rad.
it. Yeah. So
So are the main 5 Rangers still?
so I have not seen them in here yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like so I've only seen Lauren and the Troopers and Bulk. Yeah, 3M is right. Lauren was the only good thing about Power Rangers. But yeah, no, like that's what I was telling you earlier. I was like, I need Hasbro to go back to the Lightning collection.
Right.
Because I mean that's probably an easy custom you could probably do with a couple of legends, but
Well, even her look as what did they call her?
it was like Madam Vile, Mistress Vile or something like that?
Mistress Vile, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, please. I would take that 100% as an action figure. I mean, I'm still bummed that we only got the Red Sentry Rangers,
Yeah.
the two versions of Draken and Ranger Slayer. It's like you guys couldn't do any of the other sentries,
And see, that's the thing with this. This is why I wish that they hadn't dropped that line, because with the Troopers being in here now, I would gladly take some like retail priced VR Troopers. I know the designs are different because I don't think they have the rights to use the Metal Heroes like the Melder and Spielberg, all those designs that I don't think they can use them, so they kind of modified them a little bit. But I'll still take those if they were making them,
Yeah. 3M Mistress Vile was Rita Repulsa, because her master Vile was her dad.
Yeah.
And she just decided to she basically took everybody out.
Yeah.
And even at one point in time, like Zed seemed like he was going to be a good guy and then wasn't.
Yeah, I didn't read any of that stuff that was recent. I guess like when they was like the Death Ranger, was that his name? And then didn't all the villains become Rangers at one point too? Like, yeah,
yep.
I didn't read.
I wanted a figure of the Death Ranger.
I've seen customs of that. Like I would.
Were they the Omega Rangers or whatever?
Yeah. Well, that pack came
4-pack.
out. It was like the 3-pack, right?
Yeah, it was 4-pack.
4-pack. I never got it because it kept going on sale, but like I kept having bills and stuff to pay, so I could never get it. So I was like, but and
Yeah.
I was also in this weird phase where I was only collecting the characters that existed in the Super Sentai versions because I like both Power Rangers and Super Sentai, but I'm a little more partial. And you can call me a weeb. I don't really care. One of my friends calls me a weeb, but I'm like, when it comes to the Super Sentai, like I love the Super Sentai versions because like growing up, we didn't really have access to that stuff because it was just out of reach. But when someone showed me, I guess before the days of YouTube, I don't know if I downloaded it, but they showed me some clips of Zoo Ranger and Changeman, and I was like, it clicked that, oh man, that was Japanese, and like I need more, and so I just got hooked on it. So like I collect all the Sentai sets, official and unofficial, just because. And then there are some Sentai versions where I like the Sentai version better. Like I prefer the Dino Fury, but I like the Sentai version a lot better. Which I know a lot of people don't like it, but I mean I like it a lot better than Dino Fury.
Yeah,
And
I was the only reason why I bought the Omega Rangers was because I wanted to support the Boom
the
Studio,
line, yeah,
the Boom Studio stuff
yeah,
specifically because I wanted more
yeah,
more characters from that. I was really, really, really hoping there was that third party company that did the like Mezco like versions of the
yeah, yeah.
green and white Ranger, and I really wanted the Green Ranger, but I didn't want to buy them both. I was like, I don't want the White Ranger. I specifically wanted that Green Ranger because that was the like superpower beatdown suit that they
Right,
eventually incorporated into the comics as
right.
what was his name? Matt.
Matt, something, yeah,
And he ended up having PTSD and stuff because he was tortured. And
yeah.
I'm like, okay, this is getting interesting. Like, let's, do
Yeah,
something crazy.
that's when I picked up a couple of single issues is when he showed up.
Yeah.
So like I got to figure out who this new guy is, whatever. And I was like, once I learned who he was, I was like, okay, I'm good. And
Yeah.
I didn't read anymore after that. But like because from my understanding, from everything that I've read, like when Hasbro got all of that stuff, whatever, all the Saban stuff, they got all of it. They just, I guess they're finally able to. Well, I don't know what they're doing with it now, but I guess with the troopers being in the comic, they're able to use some of that stuff now. But like if they could somehow get the Beetleborgs into this universe somehow, I know they can't. I think they jokingly said like Toei forbids Hasbro from touching Kamen Rider. So after the last couple,
I would take it all.
Yeah, like I because the Max Rider or Kamen Rider figure that I have, like he's out of scale with the Lightning Collection stuff, but
yeah. Where is he?
I just and I'm worried about like whatever Playmates is going to be doing with this because there's so many like unfinished teams still. So
Whoops.
Spin Kamen Rider.
Yeah. My goodness, the dust down here. I should have shut my door. But it was cold in here. Oh, wow. It's that time.
I don't know what Playmates is doing with I'm worried about their output's going to be with that because I don't even know if they're going to do like anything that's targeted towards collectors like Lightning Collection was, or they're going to do something that's just straight.
Oh, for Power Rangers, I'm sure it's going to be like how Bandai used to do. They would have their, like the collector based, when they were doing the Legacy Collection or whatever. But then they had like, because these are apparently, from what I've read, is they're going to be 4-inch figures. So I'm guessing they're going to be minimally articulated and.
Yeah, I don't want that though.
Me neither.
I specifically I didn't buy the Lightspeed Rescue Blue guy, whatever, because I knew that we weren't going to get the rest of them. But I did buy. Was it from Turbo? Was he the only one from Turbo that they did, right?
Was the red one?
Yeah,
I believe so.
Yeah.
Which I think I actually need to get. I think I did buy it. I was gonna say because at this point in time prior, all I've really been collecting is any of the Rangers that Tommy was. So
they did all of his, didn't they? Like every Ranger he's been, that they actually finished.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I think the last one that was needed was the Black Dino
Final
Thunder,
Thunder, yeah,
which is funny because the head that they used was like a modern head, and it wasn't
yeah,
even like the way he looked when the show was
yeah.
on, which I thought was kind of funny. But I suppose I'm gonna call it here because I am starving and I need to get some food in my system because I have not eaten since like noon.
Oh,
Yeah. So, as always, thanks everybody for hanging out and listening to goofy stories about stuff I did as a teenager and talking Power Rangers and comics and toys and all that other fun stuff. You guys know the drill. Follow me on Instagram if you're not. Come be a part of the Raccoon Mafia. um, I think the donations are open already again. So if you've already feeling frisky and want to donate, I think Dave's got those links going already. Head on over to Pro Wrestling Tees. Get yourself a Raccoon Mafia t-shirt. I know I did. Yeah, trying to think of anything else. Yeah, if you're local, come find me. Come hang out at Mint and Box Toys. And all that other stuff. So, and thanks for Mr. Jones for coming and hanging out.
yeah, that was Dave. He was like, "Hey, go mess with Tony real quick," and I was like, "All right."
It's a good thing I was paying any sort of attention because I could have left you hanging there and not been paying any attention at all.
I probably would have fallen asleep.
Yeah. If I'm not under snow, yes. All right, guys. We'll catch you next week. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see. Yeah, we'll probably see you on Grippin' and Rippin', and hopefully I'll have stuff to open this time because my packages will maybe get here. I don't know. We'll see. So until then, I have to figure out how this works now because they have definitely changed everything, and I think this is how it goes. Maybe. Here we go.